Everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have public participation. Members of the public who wish to speak to the board should complete a request card prior to the meeting. This section of the meeting will be reserved for comments from the public. All comments should be limited to 3 minutes, and criticism of individuals is not in order. Next, we have approval of contract for James Horn, Dekalb High School principal. This is an action item that the Board of Education approve the attached contract for Dekalb High School principal for James Horn effective July 1st, 2017 through June 30th of 2018. Do we have a motion? So moved. Second. Any discussion?
I'm basically in agreement with the idea, and would just like to hear the definition of a LUDA school, because we're going to be offering a salary, I understand, that is in coordination with what LUDA is. So could you, Brad, give us a definition and describe how it is that this comes about?
We're a member of LUDA, which is Large Unit District Association. There are 53 districts that are in the same membership as we are. So obviously the criteria is have K through 12 students served and be large enough that the threshold is over 3,500 students. So we're actually on the large end of the LUDA chart. What has happened in many districts is we use each other to benchmark salaries, because that is where really our competition for administrative positions are. When I first started, suggested that maybe we look at our competitive LUDA districts, those LUDA districts that are around us that we often compete for a variety of different things. And so we developed a chart that identified what those people make that are high school principals. So there are a few of the schools that have multiple high school principals, and so that's what the numbers are here on the sides. But you as a board decided on a target salary of 5th out of these LUDA districts, which the salary would be what the take-home salary would be plus the TRS contributions. And so that's how the dollar amount for James was established.
And 5th is 5th out of the...
Actually on the chart, typically use 10, we had 12. Again, we wanted to make sure that we cast our net as wide and as broad as we could to kind of look at those people.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other? Okay. Roll call, please.
Ray Davis.
Yes.
Vicky Haver. Yes. Mary Hess.
Yes.
Jerry Millett.
Yes.
Victoria Dufour.
Yes.
Rick Smith.
Yes.
Howard Sullivan.
Yes.
Can I address the board?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to thank you for the trust that you're instilling in me tonight. I look forward to providing leadership for Dekalb High School as we continue to implement and improve upon all of our programming. And also I look forward to being a steward for all of D428. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations. Next, we have business and finance, school lunch price increase, and this is an action item. That the Board of Education approve an increase in the price of a school lunch to $2.70 at the elementary schools and $2.85 at the middle schools and high school, effective with the 2017-2018 school year. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to ask something, Andrew, about the food service. So we're going to continue on, I don't know, study or research or figure out about the other method, whether it's vended food or whatever.
Right,
See what we can do about, if we can.
right.
Okay.
The state now, I think, provided us a little more clarity as far as how to procure food if we were to go out on our own.
Okay, good.
That was a holdup, not that
Sure.
the vended part was an issue.
Right, you don't stay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, roll call, please.
Vicky Faber.
Yes.
Mary Hess.
Yes.
Carrie Malek.
Yes.
Victoria DeFord.
Yes.
Rick Smith.
Yes.
Howard Solomon.
Yes.
Brad Davis.
Yes.
Okay, next we have teacher full-time equivalent staffing. This is an action item that the Board of Education approve the priority 1 FTE request of an additional 3.1 FTE. This request exceeds the 8.0 FTE currently budgeted for the financial projections by 0.10 FTE for a projected increase of $6,750. We have a motion? So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Andrea, do you want to go through what the changes were from last time, please?
So what, at the beginning again, when we were first doing our projections, and in working with FFAC, we previously had 5 FTE in there. And then with what we looked at historically, what was happening, we decided we should move that number to 8 because we were going over that. So with that, we met with James and went through and actually he presented at FFAC as to what all of that would look like. So what we have this evening is scaling that back to, it ended up being 3.1 for the high school additional that is being added on.
And that is for the target,
Right.
okay? And then
So,
the elementary music and art,
And that's the 0.1.
okay?
And then special ed teacher to be in compliance, and then an ESL teacher in school. Yeah, and that's, I know we've talked about Crow's Landing, we're gonna maintain Crow's Landing FTE. So that's good. I feel like that's a priority.
Now, this cost, you got 60 or 6,750, does that include the benefits or no?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it does, it's included everything.
yeah,
Okay.
The one note I would just make, and I know the board is probably aware, but I just want to reinforce, there's an asterisk at the bottom, the fact that we do pay overloads at the high school, so when our enrollment exceeds our capacity, teachers are asked, and by seniority, to assume an additional class. That is a significant amount of money. It was $45,170 for 3 classes this last year. And that's 3 classes each semester. So you get, obviously, some of your best teachers teaching those classes. However, that is a pretty expensive way to go. So, if you can avoid that, probably your dollars ahead. However, again, sometimes you just can't. You gotta have the extra, you have to have the extra sections. So,
You have 3.1 FTE and a $6,000 increase in budget.
Mhm.
3 FTE at $65,000 per teacher is going to come up to $195,000 or thereabouts. Where did the other money go?
Howard, we have 8 in the budget.
8, you have 8 in the budget.
filled.
Yeah.
8 are in the budget already.
Right.
So you've already got your 8,
In the
0.1, and the 0.1 is, if you add the 5 sections at elementary, you've got to also offer music and art. And that's, I think, one class of art and 2 of music, something like that, in order to make up for the difference.
So the
So it's-
$6,000 is exceeding what we allowed in the
Yeah,
budget.
very good.
But it had already been budgeted.
Yeah.
So anything at this point, any FTEs will not have been budgeted for and will be
Yeah, be
Would
involved.
added to the deficit.
approval. Yep.
Did you have a question?
No, I just kind of,
I got a question, just general. Overload classes, what sort of classes are they? Is it typical or is it all over the map?
Two math and a science class right now at the high school.
So each year, I'm sure we have overloads, but is it generally math or science, or is it often something else?
I think it varies.
If am I allowed to?
Go ahead,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, so it varies depending on the bump. It's very difficult to prepare for. This year, it happened to be in math and science. To answer your question, what it tends to be, overloads will go to classes that are required for graduation. So your math, your science, humanities, or which is English, and social studies.
So they're core classes.
The core classes. Yeah. But it is also, it's based on seniority, and then however it shakes out within the department, it goes to the planning period of that teacher because we didn't schedule for it. So for example, if I'm running 15 sections of US history and we have a wave of juniors move in, and the way we scaled it back, we didn't schedule for any buffer. So we're at capacity in many of our classes. So say we have 40 kids that are juniors move into the district next year, and I have to open up another US history. I have to go to the department, see who's qualified to teach US history, and then who's willing to do it. And then take a look at when their plan period is, place it there, and then we move the kids into that and try to disrupt their schedule as little as possible. So in doing the overloads, just be aware that if you've got a class that's running at 50, I'm trying to get that number down as much as I can be, but it's not going to be a clean 25-25 split. There's so many variables in that. Depends on the class that gets taken.
And contractually, you pay the teacher for what their salary is, and it's 0.9 per semester. So I believe that one of the teachers, it was like $7,350 each semester to do the overload. So that the total was $45,170 with their TRS benefits, which is about what we pay for one full new teacher.
Roll call, please.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Carrie Millette,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Craig Smith,
Yes.
Howard Zolman,
Yes.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Vicky Hernandez.
Yes. Next, we have budget information for Facility Operations Department. This is a continuation from March 7th. This is an action item that the Board of Education approve the expansion of the operations and maintenance budget for 2017-2018 in the amount of $268,100. We have a motion. All right. Okay, next we have new business and administration, ombudsman contract, and this is an action item that the Board of Education approve the ombudsman 3-year contract as a non-traditional option for high school students to receive their education. Do we have a motion? Is there a second? Second. All right, discussion?
I'd like to ask Victoria, is there, would the board entertain, I know the thing that bothers me about this is certainly not the services that they provide, it's the automatic 3% increases going forward. And I just wonder if the board would entertain the idea of maybe asking them to reduce that amount of increase, 3% to say 1%.
Christie, can we negotiate this contract or?
I can only ask,
Okay.
Rick. We did ask for that information, and similar to our insurances in our district, their insurance has gone up. And so that was to that's what their explanation was for the 3% each year, as well as increases in curriculum, the cost of curriculum. I will ask.
You know, I appreciate that because over here we pass on things we'd like to do too, for the sake of trying to hold expenses. And I think it'd be worth the question. I certainly would appreciate you to ask.
You said a 1%?
Yeah, if they take 1%, 1% increase.
Well, and just kind of in line with that, I looked at their 990, their tax return for a not-for-profit. I was just kind of taken back by the amount of money that they have. And I know that there's not alternatives in this community, but they seem to be in a pretty good position to. Okay.
Is there a chance of a lesser period other than 3 years, maybe a 1-year contract? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking, Brett. 3% for 3 years, I think, is not a very provable number right now, because the national economy is all over the map. Healthcare costs are all over the map. No one knows what's going to happen. So for them to say 3%, and we want it for 3 years, that's a big assumption on my part, my thinking. So yeah, either a 1-year contract or reduce, as Rick said, reduce that automatic to 1% per year.
I will check on that, and I'll see if I can get that accomplished before our next meeting next week.
Thank you. Howard has it.
The 1%, thank you, Rick, for that, volunteering that as a number, because that's approximately what we're going to give our own teachers per contract. And we want to value our teachers. And by going to outside contractors and not at least trying to come in near the same amount of increase, we kind of give another slap in the face to our unions and don't really want to do that if we get avoided.
It falls in that.
Operations.
The last month, there was a disinflation. It was less than what we've been experiencing for the last several years, much less. So, that probably won't be sustainable. It'll go back up, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to go to 3% for 3 years, 9% over the next 3 years. I kind of doubt that.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have approval of combining Huntley Middle School and Clinton Rosette Middle School football programs, and this is an action item. That the Board of Education approve combining the middle school football programs as presented. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
I am hard pressed to support something where we're potentially saving money, but we're doing this for the sake of creating a winning program.
No,
A-
that's not.
That's not the
Rationale
rationale
behind
behind it.
the end result.
The rationale behind it is strictly safety and numbers of participation at Rosette.
Howard, there's 14 kids that go out at Rosette for football, and you can't play football with 14 kids.
Yeah, I know.
So the opportunity is not equal then for our kids at Huntley as it is to Rosette. And it is a safety issue. You see, you got a 95-pound kid playing tackle, and he's getting shoved around.
I really
saw that.
You know?
Nick brought this to us in his presentation last time. I really like the idea that you can have more selection choice. You can put a heavier guy against a heavier guy on the line and keep your little guys for running backs or quarterback or something. Especially at this age, because the kids aren't fully formed yet. Their bones are still growing. You don't want them taking a young, small guy taking a hit from a big guy. I don't want Red hitting me. We were starting to play. Of course, we can't run anymore anyway.
Takes me a long time to get up now.
We'd be well matched, but not these kids.
And I think it also plays to their morale, and when, if they have such a small team and don't have a chance against the other schools, then that affects, how they feel about the sport.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Roll call, please.
Karen Willett,
Yes.
Rick Smith,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Rick Smith,
Yes.
Howard Solomon,
Yes.
Fred Davis.
Yes.
Vicky Fair.
Yes.
Mary Hess.
Yes.
Next, we have approval of multi-year contract with the NIU Convocation Center for DeKalb High School graduation 2018 through 2020. And this is an action item. That the Board of Education approve the attached multi-year contract with NIU Convocation Center for DeKalb High School graduation for 2018 through 2020. Do I have a motion? So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Is this a multi-year contract from the past?
No.
So what's the change?
The changes is that they are, like Batavia comes out here now.
Oh,
More schools are
so
coming out here,
more,
so
more, yeah, okay.
Fixed our costs too for 3 years, so it's the same for
And
3
inflated.
years.
Yep.
That we saw a little increase from last year to this year.
Okay.
So it just seems evident that we need to lock it in. We also lock in our dates first.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Craig Smith,
Yes.
Howard Solomon.
Yes.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Vicky Aaron Baker,
Yes.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Karen Lott,
Yes.
Victoria Newport.
Yes. Next is recommended revisions to Board of Education policies, second reading. And this is an action item, that the Board of Education hold a second reading and approve recommended changes to Board of Education policies. Second. Discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Vicky Aaron Baker,
Yes.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Karen Lott,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Craig Smith,
Yes.
Howard Solomon.
Yes.
With that, we are going to adjourn the closed session.